Through the darkness, a white hooded figure is running through a local cemetery of Los Angeles to an abandoned junkyard with left behind rusted metals. Chasing after him is a dark hooded figure, as they both panted, one trying to get away and one trying to stop him from escaping. But as the white hooded figure kept running, the dark hooded figure stopped. He glared at a tombstone. He drops to his knees, puts his right bloody hand onto the name of the tombstone with a deep and vengeful voice, stating, "You will be avenged." This was 6 days ago. And as the sun was going down, the night progressed in East LA. The sounds of dogs barking in the distance, police sirens wailing in the distance as well. The streetlights are just turning on, hitting the sidewalks, and with darkness lurking within it, though in a small house around the corner, there was a couple who were making out in the girls' room. Nothing really too out of the ordinary. "Take your clothes off," Janice told her boyfriend Zach. "Oh yeah?" Zach asked as he was already taking off his pants and his shirt. As Janice was taking off her shirt and leggings as well, they both made out again, getting intimate. Though, little do they know that they were being watched. A twig was just heard outside their house. Did you hear that?" Janice said, all terrified. "Babe, it's probably just a dog wandering in the streets," Zach said, annoyed, wanting to get laid and starting to kiss on Janice's neck. "No, Zach, stop, seriously. What was that?" "Would you relax? Look, I'll see through the window, alright?" Zach said, annoyed. As Zach opened the window, looking up and down, left and right, he reassured her. "See, nothing's out here," he said with confidence. Janice looked at him, shaking her head. Just then, a hand pulled back Zach's head, and a kitchen knife sliced through Zach's neck, blood starting to gush out. Janice let out a huge scream, not knowing what the hell just happened. Zach fell to his knees and fell to the floor. Just then, a pale-faced ghoul was looking at Janice, garbed in a white hoodie filled with blood. He had black hair hanging down to his face, his eyebrows burned off, and a huge smile sliced from ear to ear. Janice let out another scream while gazing upon this ghoul now entering the room, as he slowly walked towards her. "No! Please, no!" Janice pleaded with this ghoul, but then he raised his index finger to his lips. "Shh, shh, shh, shh. Look, I just need you to go to sleep. Okay?" The ghoul said this, half shouting, while he raised the kitchen knife and started stabbing Janice. She screamed louder and pleading. "Oh, we got you. You should see the look on your fucking face," the ghoul then said, as they pulled off what happened to be a mask. The person revealed to be Justin, a friend of Zach's, which then Zach came up laughing with Justin. Then another guy came out of the closet, who was Mike, who was also a friend of Zach's, holding a camera, laughing as well. "Sorry, babe, but I had to do it." "Jiff the killer is the talk around here, along with," Zach said, but of course the only one who wasn't laughing was Janice, and interrupted him. "You fucking asshole! You scared me half to death. I fucking hate you!" she said, screaming, hitting Zach. "Get out! Get the fuck out of my house!" She pushed all three of them out of the house, Zach telling her that it was only a Halloween joke. but then she slammed the door in his face. Heartbroken and angry, she then started to put her clothes back on and went to her cabinet and started to rip off all the flirting notes that she got from him in classes at their college, laying on her bed crying. Just when things were being settled a little bit, she heard rustling out of her window again. "Fuck off, Zach. I don't want to talk to you anymore," Janice shouted. But there was no response back. She then went to her bathroom to wash away her tears and started thinking that maybe she did overreact a little bit. Janice then headed back to her bedroom to see that, strangely, her window was open. "Okay, enough, all of you. Get the fuck out of my room," she said, heading to the closet. But no one was in there. She then looked under the bed, nothing under there, looking out the window, and no one was there either. As she closed the window, she was very confused and started to turn to look at the bed. Janice was grabbed by the throat and thrown to the wall, seeing the pale white ghoul again. "Justin, get the fuck off me! The prank's over!" Janice shouted to who she thought was Justin. However, she noticed that this ghoul was breathing in from the nose and out. Mouth slit from ear to ear, and smelling its breath, there was no mask lying around the neck. Also, this other ghoul had a white blank bulb on his left eye, as if he was blind on that side. She remembered the mask had both eyes looking. Her heart sank deep into her stomach. Her horror then came to realization that this wasn't Justin in the mask again, but someone real. The real Jeff the Killer. She tried to run, but Jeff stabbed her in the stomach, and Janice fell to the floor crying and whimpering, begging to be spared by the white ghoul standing before her very eyes. "Oh, shut up, slut!" the real Jeff said sinisterly. "All you have to do is just go to sleep," shouted Jeff as he started to stab Janice with his knife. As blood started gushing out, he then heard the bones cracking from all the stab wounds being penetrated and laughing maniacally. Jeff finally seized his final stab, and he left the house where he entered from, wandering into the night. As Jeff was walking through the shadowed streets of East LA, he then came across a sight while hiding in the darkness. There were a bunch of people hanging out in front of a house, and these people had white tank tops, also wearing button-up shirts, but it looked like it was the only buttoned up on the top and not the rest. They had sunglasses on their heads, some scars on their faces, Dickies shorts, and flat shoes, talking a lot of smack and drinking beer. Jeff then thought presumably that these men and women were cholos, the Mexican word for gangsters. Jeff heard about their kind before and was fascinated with what he saw. Seeing them drink beer, he was craving for one, surprisingly, and also picking which one would be perfect for a kill. Out of nowhere, though, a police car showed up and was in front of these cholos. One cop then started to come up to one guy who was in a wheelchair. Jeff could hear what they were saying even at a far distance. "It looks like I got my spotlight tonight," the wheelchair guy said. "How does it feel to be the star of the show, Ignacio?" the cop said. "Ignacio? Huh?" Jeff smiled and laughed. "Only my abuela calls me Ignacio ese." "To you, it's a demon," said Ignacio, as Jeff saw that there was an intense stare-down between the cop and Ignacio. "Came more to beat me in the leg, ese?" he asked. "2 cops were shot tonight. They're both in the hospital." "You know anything about that?" the cop asked. "Pfft, Damn. Well, I wish I was there to see the fun, Jeff said, smirking a little. Shit, I don't know anything, fool. I'm just an honest citizen, S.A. That's all you came down here for, to share the news, Holmes? Ignacio asked, as there was another stare down. The cop now looked left and right. Notice both stop signs at the end of the block have been sawed down. Want to tell me what happened? The cop asked again. Jeff saw to his right and did notice that there was a stop sign cut down. As he looked at the others again, another cop came to give the other cop a stop sign. However, Jeff saw that there was something spray painted on it. El Chicano. The Ghetto Grim Reaper. Now, this is a mark as warning to the evil that lives on this block, the cop said, as Jeff looked interested to what he said. But he did see Ignacio's face turn pale as the cop mentioned this person. El what? Grim Reaper? Jeff asked himself. Know any evil that lives here, Ignacio? The cop asked again, knowing that Ignacio knew something, but he looked at the sign briefly and just looked away. Well, I said my part. No drinking and driving, any of you. Lock those wheels, or you're downhill. Alright? The cop said, dropping the stop sign. There was mumbling between the cholos, and Ignacio said, Hey, settle down, you motherfucker. Walk all over my body, huh? I show you who you're dealing with, punk ass. Ignacio said, shooting the stop sign. Jeff then saw Ignacio roll down the other way to the darkness. Fuck, if only he went this way, Jeff said. He then walked over to the cut-down stop sign on his side and saw the spray paint of a hooded figure. Sharp teeth where the mouth was, and he put two and two together. So you're this Grim Reaper that they're talking about. Well then, you and I are going to have to meet very soon. One ghoul to another. Jeff said, laughing. Just as he said this, he heard Ignacio shout as if something grabbed him. Jeff then heard a motorcycle revving up louder and louder, and just as he heard this, he saw the other cholos looking scared. They booked it out of there in different directions. Jeff saw some cholos passing him, and they looked at him with a what the fuck face, but left out of there because they knew who was coming. Jeff then headed back to where he was hiding and saw a motorcycle coming his way, hearing some screaming too. The bike stopped within 25 feet away from him, and what he saw was indeed true. A hooded figure in all black, head to toe, got off the bike and walked towards Ignacio as he was injured during the drag. You fucked with the wrong fool, S.A. Okay, you're gonna die for this, Ignacio said. The figure then got out a knife. However, this knife looked different, for it had a red blade on it, and stabbed it through Ignacio's heart. Ignacio was left there bleeding to death, and the hooded figure walked onto his bike, starting it up, only to drive off. Jeff couldn't believe it. It was the Ghetto Grim Reaper, El Chicano, in the flesh. Jeff then smiled uncontrollably. Till we finally meet face to face, Grim Reaper. Jeff laughed again, then disappearing into the night, singing his own theme song.